Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Mom Nadia, as the language learning methodology lecturer, and all my loving and blessed audience. Okay, before we continue to the material, let me introduce ourselves. I am Elisa, and my partner Tita Retnoningrum, Puji Larasati, and Misbahul Munir. We are from the group 10, and in this opportunity, we would like to present about the last material, that is teaching writing by using cooperative learning approach. In this material, we get three main points. They are the nature of writing skills, teaching writing in English foreign language classroom, and cooperative learning. Next is the first main points, the nature of writing skills. Here we get 4 sub-points: definition of writing, process of writing, types of writing performance, micro and macro skills of writing. Okay, I will present about the first and the second sub-points. Definition of writing. As stated by Harmer, writing is a communication form to deliver or to express feeling through written form. It is an integral part of the language skills and put in the final stage of language learning. This means that it is the culmination of language learning. This can also be an indicator whether students have mastered all word skills or not, as they should be able to listen, speak, and read before they are able to write. Spratt, Williams, and Palvemes state that productive skills involve practicing language rather than receiving it, which means that those skills will produce an output as an indicator that students have learned both skills. The output of those productive skills can be varied. The writing skill can produce outputs such as note, written story, letter, diary, and any other types of text. Writing is the final product after students learn several stages of writing separately before. This means that writing is actually the last output after one continuously learns separate acts of writing. Those acts or stages of writing, according to Wallace, are note-taking, identifying a central idea, outlining, drafting, and editing. The next is process of writing. Final product is important, but it should not be the only thing students need to focus on, especially in writing. If students want to produce a good writing, they must pay attention to the process of writing. The process itself is divided into several stages. However, many experts propose different stages of writing. Hammer, for example, suggests a much simpler process of writing. He divides it into 4 stages. Those are planning, drafting, editing, and final draft. These steps of writing are more often being used in the classroom because of the simplicity. Another expert who has different theory on the subject is Ken Hyland. The stages of writing process that he offers are not much different than of Harmer's, although Hyland's are a lot more complex, detailed, and consisted of more than 4 stages. Okay, the next will be delivered by my partner, Puji Larasati. Time is yours.
Types of writing performances. According to Brown 2004-2020, proposal for types of writing performance that can capture the range of writing production. The first category is imitative writing. Students are at basic level where they just need to master the mechanics of writing to be able to produce any writing language. Next is intensive or controlled writing. It is writing category. Students must be able to not only write words, punctuation, and brief sentences, but also produce proper vocabulary based on context, collocation, and idioms, and also grammatical features within a sentence. The third type is responsive writing. Here, students can start to do something more complicated that involves writing at a limited discourse level. The last category is extensive writing. When students reach this point, it means that they have successfully applied and managed all the writing processes and strategies for all purposes. Many types of writing which can be put into this category are essays, term papers, reports of research, project, or even thesis. Micro and macro skill of writing. Micro and macro skill are nothing strange anymore, especially for teachers. Those things will help them defining the most suitable standard to assess their students. Based on explanation about many types of writing performance, micro skills are more appropriate for text that improve imitative and intensive writing, while macro skill will be more related to responsive and extensive writing. In conclusion, micro skill will deal with the mechanics of writing in like orthography, writing speed, word choice, grammar, cohesive devices, etc. Whereas macro skill will deal a lot with more complex stuff such as rhetorical forms and convention, communicative function, links and connection between events, literal versus implied meanings, culturally specific references, battery of writing strategies, and so forth. Micro and macro skill of writing. Micro skill have 5 parts of writing. The first is produce grammars and orthography patterns of English. The second is produce writing at an efficient rate of speed to suit the purpose, and then produce an acceptable grammatical system, and then express a particular meaning in given grammatical form, and the last use cohesive devices in writing discourse. Macro skills have 6 parts of writing. The first is use the rhetorical forms and convention of writing discourse. The second is appropriately accomplish the communicative function of writing text according to form and purpose. And then convey links and connection between the events and communication, such relation of main ideas, supporting idea, new information, giving information, generalization, and exemplification. And then distinguish between literal and implied meaning when writing. And the last is correctly convey culturally specific references in the context of the writing text. Teaching writing in English foreign language classroom have 3 categories. The first is definition of teaching. The second is teaching English for junior high school students. And the last is teaching writing. Definition of teaching. According to Brown 2007, teaching is guiding and facilitating learning, enabling the learner to learn, and setting the condition for learning. This means that teaching is not just passing knowledge and information to other human beings. It is leading, assisting, and making it possible for the learners to learn, including creating conducive atmosphere for studying. Based on its process, teaching not only has to be done right but also effectively. Palm Cities in Richard and Renandia 2002-21 provides a comprehensive list on effective teaching characteristics that includes giving clear and focused instruction, monitoring students' progress, using class time properly, having positive interpersonal skill with students, using rewards to encourage students, and so on.
Okay, I will continue from the previous presenter and I will present about teaching English for junior high school students. There are 4 literacy levels of language and those are performative, functional, informational, and epistemic. On the performative level, students have to be able to read, write, listen, and speak using shared symbols. On the functional level, Students need to be capable of using language to meet their daily needs such as reading newspaper or manuals. On the informational level, students must be able to access knowledge with their language competency. Meanwhile, on the epistemic level, students will have to be able to express knowledge into data-rich language. Hartoyo in his handout has stated that English language teaching in junior high schools is usually aimed at assisting students to achieve the functional level of language literacy. They are expected to be capable of using English to communicate both in spoken and written way to accomplish their daily needs. Teaching English in junior high school will focus more on teaching students communication skills in English through important language skills such as speaking and writing. The thing one has to remember is that making sure the students all pass the national examination is never the goal of English language teaching or any other teaching activities in junior high school. This of course makes the claim that a higher score indicates students' high competence in English and success in learning English is a total fallacy, since although students may have made the cuts or get perfect grade in the national examination, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they have the ability to communicate well in English. Okay, the next material is teaching writing. The success of English teaching process of writing is influenced by at least three factors, which are student, material, and teacher. Student is the object in the teaching writing process. Teacher in this case has a role as the subject, a person who is doing the teaching, whereas the material is the medium for teacher and student to do the process of teaching writing. The three of them have to be balanced and each element must play their role well and effectively. Harmer offers 5 different approaches to student writing. The first one is process and product. The second one is writing in genre. The next is creative writing. The next is writing as a cooperative activity, and the last one is using computer. Aside from approaches of student writing, Harmer also suggests that teacher takes a really significant role in English language teaching in general or teaching writing in English specifically. Harmer proposed that teacher at the very least has 3 important roles. The first one is teacher as a motivator, and the second one is teacher as a resource, and the last one is teacher as a feedback. Okay, we will continue to the next material. The next material is cooperative learning. There, cooperative learning has 4 parts, and those are definition of cooperative learning, elements of cooperative learning techniques, and the last one is cooperative learning in teaching, writing, and learning process. And I will present about definition of cooperative learning. According to Kagan, cooperative learning refers to a set of instructional strategies which includes cooperative student interaction over subject matter as an integral part of the process. He also defines cooperative learning as a teaching arrangement which refers to small, heterogeneous groups of students working together to achieve a common goal. They work together to learn and are responsible for the teammates' learning as well as their own. Kagan also created cooperative learning model of his own. The model is based on the concept and use of structures, and it is considered as an innovative approach to classroom instruction. Kagan's model of cooperative learning is believed to be one of the best out there because its structure could bring about good outcomes including greater social and language skills that will prepare students for real-world situations and also greater employability. I think enough from me. The next material will present by Dita Ratnaningrum. Time is yours.
Now I will explain about elements of cooperative learning. We have 5 elements that define cooperative learning. For the first and foremost element is positive interdependence. Students have the sense that they are in this together, feeling that each member individual effort will not only help them but also the whole group. The next is individual and group accountability. Each student is accountable for their own contribution to the group. Clearly described goals ensure that each student knows what they are responsible for and what the group is responsible for. The third is face-to-face or promotive interaction. Students are promotive each other, learning through the face-to-face activities where they discuss and explain assignment topic with each other. The next element is collaborative skill. Students learn not only the subject matter but also interpersonal skill and how to work in teams. Students are taught skill of communication, leadership, and conflict management during the early stage of cooperative learning. The last element is group processing. Students are given means for analyzing their group for how well the group has learned and whether or not collaborative skills are being used. The next material is cooperative learning technique. Some structure which teacher can easily use to facilitate cooperative learning. For the first is structure jigsaw, which is one of the most common techniques that have been widely used in classroom. The second structure is think, pair, share. This one original developed by Lehman. This technique allows students to complete a post question or problem silently. And the last structure is three-step interview. Each member of a team chooses another member to be a partner. For example, devise a specific cooperative learning technique that is called Student Team Achievement Division or STAD. For the last material, it is cooperative learning in teaching, writing, and learning process. In teaching writing using cooperative learning, cooperative writing activity have two aims. The first one is focusing on message and target communication function, which is related to fluency, and the second one is focus on form or structure, which is related to accuracy. If teachers decide to focus on the first aim, they can use several types of activity such as brainstorming, speed writing, story sequence, and other. However, if they want focus more on the second aim, they can use tasks like group letter or group timeline project. I think enough. Thank you for your attention. I hope you like our video and presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time. Bye bye.